has often been asked, well, how does the universe appear complete in every human form? You know, it was David Bohm, the Nobel Prize winning physicist, who realized that the universe is a holographic image. Now, in order to understand that, I'd like you to picture the following. You know what a holographic image is? Okay, now picture there's a holographic image of a cathedral. Okay? Doesn't matter what size, make it this size. Now break it into 1,000 pieces. And each piece is still a complete cathedral. I got it? So this is what the human is. The human is complete existence. And there isn't a law or intelligence in the universe that is not in every human being. But it is in the being. The human is just a shadow, it's just a shell. It is just simply an appearance. You see? The being is doing everything. It's the being that is seeing, the being that is speaking. You see, the being is that is experiencing. But the human thinks it is them. So therefore, what happens initially, and of course we've got to start at the bottom in order to realize this grand, staggering thing, to wake up that you are a human being. Sometimes it takes many, many lifetimes to even begin to understand. You see? But anybody that comes to a satsang is ready, that I know. You see, to begin to understand you're a human being, what grace, what beauty, what wonder, what joy to know that you've been blessed. You see, to be given that gift. When you start understanding the gift, even minutely, you begin to understand what true living is, what joy is, and it's all within. It's all in that existence itself. But initially, it's just like climbing a ladder, and the ladder is all the way up to the sky. It has to start from the bottom. You see? So the human has to start experiencing itself from the bottom. Now, of course, the human has been given many attributes. The survival, instinct of survival. Another thing that's being given, and remember that the human is a question. Okay? Please understand that. The human is a living question. There isn't a time when the human is not seeking, question. Okay? There's always a question. It's always asking. And if something happens, tragic, instead of the human understanding and says, well, it happens because I need to learn this, there's something I'm missing, the human immediately says, why me? You know, there's always a question of me, because it separates. And the one strong foundation of the human is belief. It relies totally on its belief. But you will begin to understand that when you realize that being is knowing. Being is knowing. Being has no beliefs at all. All right? Being is straight knowing. But until you come to knowing, you know, you have to see that the human is just a play. It's a role we are playing. Until you see that, you cannot move back to knowing. So the only thing you have is belief, you see? So we create belief systems, whether it's a religion or a cult or a club or an atheist or whatever, it doesn't matter, you know, or a theist. You want to believe in something. You believe something. Even if you believe in cruelty, and it doesn't matter, in war. But you believe in something. And belief can be so strong that most wars are caused because of belief, right? You know, one belief against another. Because belief brings also the need for power. I've got to, you know, this is what I believe. And therefore I stick with it, you see? But we begin to see as we grow up, really, wake up, is that all beliefs are just beliefs. They can be shaken. We can doubt them eventually, but there's one thing you can never doubt, knowing. When you come to know, you cannot doubt it. And then it puts belief to the side. You see? And this is when we begin to move from human to being. But the moment you move to being, because you have to do it through the human, you cannot do it any other way. For example, what is the one thing that the human needs in order to understand being? To confront fear. Because the human is all fear. It is always seeking, wanting, needing, yearning, desiring, hoping. You see? And it's never enough. It's never fully satisfied. And it always has questions. But there is one thing that we learn as we go through life. There are no answers to life. And I know that most of you know this. You know, you can study philosophy, psychology. Oh, there are word answers. But have they wakened you up? Have they brought awakening? Have they made you see that you are that you are really a being playing this human role? No. Because only that, the knowing within the being, that brings transformation. And that knowing is so simple. That knowing is so clear, is so simple that it escapes us. You see? And what is that knowing? So simple. Here we are. Can anything be simpler than that? Here I am. Here you are. And that's all there is to you. You are existence itself. Anything that you see happening is the I of you that is creating it. But now this is where we go in. We think there are two I's, the I of the human and the I of the being. There's only one I. So when you say, I feel this, I can question you and says, well, what do you mean by I? Are you referring to yourself, to your body? 99.9% of the time that you say I, you're referring to you, the body, the human. You see? And it can be helped. But the moment you stop and you say, where is this I? Really? Let me find out where it is. Take it back to its source. And you'll find that in this moment, all you are is, you just are. You see, which is presence. Now that areness, that is the knowing of the being. Because being is everything. There's nothing but being. You see? So all we ever meet, how to meet the human. Fear is constant. And every question, there's a little fear behind it. We're not sure. We're uncertain. But there's one thing you can be sure of. You can never be sure of anything. You see, and that you can be sure of. You see, just like change. There's one thing that never changes, and that is change itself. But when you move into the being, change and unchanging is irrelevant, immaterial. You see? Good or bad is immaterial. And anything that has a duality within it is immaterial to being. Being just is. Can you understand this? No. If you try to understand it, you go bonkers. Because the mind cannot understand it. However, and that's the beautiful thing, and knowing starts to come when you begin to surrender. All I know is now. All I know is here. And I can be here. What else is there? Every time I sit down and I look, I don't see Burt. I don't know who Burt is. But I know there is now. And now is forever and now is eternal. And that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. I have found peace because I have realized this one simple thing. That nothing can happen to me. Oh, physically, yes. To the body, yes. But to I, nothing can happen. It's impossible. You see? Because I am.